Hello! Welcome to Beardychiel's Knitting Banter. My name is John Glenn, better known as Beardychiel, and I'm your host, and you'll find me here, you'll find me on Instagram, on Ravelry, here on YouTube, you'll find me on Facebook, and you'll find me sitting around the house a lot of the time. All of the places you'll find me, I use the same identity, which is Beardychiel. And names appearing around the screen as I've been talking. And if you want to get me on email, it's beardychiel@gmail.com for general inquiries. And I'm here today because I haven't recorded for ages. I'm a lazy beggar and I need to get caught up. I need to get back to recording again on a regular basis, and my apologies to all those loyal subscribers out there who have been waiting for this for absolutely ages. What have I been up to? Well, from New Year until now, I have been playing the part of the doting grandad and doing the child minding for Ruben and Leo 2 or 3 days a week. I have occasionally been working with, or still having my usual time with Ian. I have been knitting away, I've been working on some design work, I've been working on multiple projects at the same time, so much so that life has become so complicated there wasn't any time to fit in anything else. I haven't done the recording that I should have done, and for that I feel really, really guilty. The organisation for this year's Rhodes Retreat came to an end, and we went off on the Rhodes Retreat at the beginning of May and came back 10 days later, had a week and a bit to settle in, back to classes at the Messy Nessy Play Centre, tell you more about those later, and everything is ticking over smoothly. But you need to catch up. So, in this episode, we will have the Rhodes Retreat footage, some footage from the Highland Wool and Textiles Festival in Dingwall, which was last Saturday. That was one of the reasons for holding off, because I knew I could combine the two sets of footage into one episode. There are a couple of new designs and possibly 2 new patterns to launch, but they're crochet patterns as opposed to knitting patterns, which is wonderful news. I've been saying I would put together some crochet patterns for a while and I haven't, but because I've been teaching a set of crochet classes and people needed artifacts or items at the end of them, I've written a couple of patterns just to make life interesting. We'll show you those garments and tell you about the patterns later on. What else have I been working on? There's a cotton summer sweater for me, or summer short sleeve top for me on the go. It's sitting in my bedroom. There are the wedding shrugs, which you'll hear about on the Rhodes Retreat. I'm trying to produce 5 of those, and the wedding's on the 15th of June, so I've got to get my finger out and get the last of those finished. I have 5 little skirts to make as well to go with the shrugs, but that's only an afternoon sewing, so that's not quite so bad. I have remembered to take my kilt through to the place where I bought it and put it in for alteration, because there is less of Beardychiel than there used to be, and when I put my kilt on it drops straight off and leaves me with a bare bahookie. If you're not conversant with the term bahookie, it means bottom, bum or erse. If there's anyone offended by my use of the word erse, please don't take it personally, because it could be an interpretation of the word erse, which means Gaelic. I'm just winding you up. So, that's all. These things are happening at the one time. There's been a design collaboration with another friend that I've been working on. There's a new shawl design which is complete, and I am in the middle of writing the pattern for, and I'm like a headless chicken. There's so much happening at the one time, I don't know how to keep track of myself. Today is Thursday, the 30th of May, and I am having a day of paperwork and administration, and I get so cheesed off with that I eventually decided it was time I had to do something else. So I was importing all of the video for editing for Rhodes and thought I better do an intro. So this is the intro. I hope you enjoy the Rhodes footage. We'll put that in for you next. At the end of that, I'll run into stash acquisition from Rhodes, and then I'll be back to talk to you before we get to Highland wool and textiles. So, off to Rhodes. See you in a little while. Bye. Well, here we are at the Sockmatician Knit Nerdism class. Beardychiel and Gintychiel and Sarah and Linda and Helen, and we've all settled down in part of the dining room at the Rhodian Sun. And as you can see, Nathan is waxing lyrical. I thought it would be unfair to put his audio in since it's his class. So all I can say is that he is as physically entertaining as he is vocally entertaining when he delivers these classes. They are an absolute scream, and we had a whale of a time. All of us sitting knitting, listening to his incredible description. I know that's Granny. Shout hello, Leo.
Hello.
Because Leo's sitting helping me make this voiceover, aren't you?
Yeah.
And Ruben's here as well. Shout hi, Ruben.
Hi, Ruben.
So we hope you enjoy watching this little bit of Nathan delivering his course.
Right now.
And we will see you in a minute or two back. Thank you. It's good of you to help me with my voiceover. Beardychiel Rhodes Retreat, Tuesday morning, and we're on our way to Lindos. Bus full of crazy people going to Lindos. We'll film in Lindos and let you see what it's like there. Cheery bye. Hi guys, we arrived at the beautiful town of Lindos. It's an interesting place because the village itself has a no vehicles policy. So you go down there, no cars, you see the occasional moped and you see donkeys. We wandered around, we explored, and we found Jello Blue, an absolutely stunning ice cream shop which Janet is hiding in, and we lost the rest of the party until it was bus time. It was a lovely afternoon. Not because
you're filming this now.
You get your 30 seconds of fame for the podcast.
Say something really good.
We're in Eva's seminar this morning and she's been blethering for ages. And I'm just putting the camera on and she's getting nervous now.
I'm getting totally nervous now. So the public built to show, built to grow, it's about that visibility, and we kept saying if you're not visible, how are people going to find you? So you need to kind of invest that into it. Practical value, news that you can use, is there a new pattern loose? Someone got a new yarn coming out. What's special? I've got a new sort of workshop, or for example the gym flights who release more tickets. That's important as a practical application to people. And as humans, we tend to share a lot of what we do. It's a chapter, we base narratives, we don't just say such and such. We fabricate a story about it because that's generally how we communicate what we remember about these things. So just kind of before we move on, I wanted to show you something that we will put together.
Well, it's Friday at Rhodes Retreat with Beardychiel and the gang, and we're off into Rhodes town. And there's going to be lots of shopping. And look, they're all back on the bus again. And I'm hoping they're going to have a wonderful time. They've all been planning their shopping, so we'll wait and see what happens. And look, we are definitely on our way.
This podcast where I watch
See you later. Well guys, here we are on the final day of Beardychiel's Rhodes Retreat 2019, and I've come out for a wander by the pool. It's about 11:30 in the morning and the sun is absolutely gorgeous. The knitters are gathered just in the shade there. and they're all sitting, knitting away, chatting, chilling until it's time for planes and things to start today, and then we lose some of them to home, and then there'll be a couple of us left who are flying back on Monday, and it's been an absolutely amazing week. The weather's been wonderful in bits. Our day trips have been full of fun and excitement and exploration, and look, there's a cloud just gone over the sun and it's feeling a bit dull again. And I'm gonna go and meet up with each of my knitters and maybe some of the relatives, and we're going to do some feedback videos and some experiences and generally sit and natter, so that when I get home we can put them all together and you guys get to see exactly what's been happening on the retreat. See you in a minute or two. Well, look who I found. Eva Christie, Director of Perth Festival of Yarn, crazy knitter, and one of my tutors this year at Beardychiel Rhodes Retreat 19. How's your week been?
It's been a fantastic week. I absolutely adore it here, so much so that I've managed to sneak in a few extra days. But the weather's been sort of milder. It's been milder this year.
Very early in the season though, aren't we?
It has been quite early in the season. Smaller group than last year, but that's not been any bad thing at all. It's been nice and compact, and we've had much more time just to get to know one another.
And much more one-to-one time with individual knitters. When you're teaching or when you were delivering your seminar, there was plenty of time to chat to individuals and no one got lost in the group. So I saw that as a big positive.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a fabulous group, and mainly returners, which I think says a lot for the retreat.
That's right.
And where it's hosted. It really is a little piece of paradise here. I mean, the hotel's actually located in Beardychiel in Rhodes, and it absolutely lives up to its name. It's like a second home here.
It
is.
is.
For me anyway, yeah.
Now, first outing for your new seminar.
That's right. So I debuted my Taking Your Fibre Business to the Next Level seminar, which I didn't think was going to hit the three-hour mark, but it did.
Easily.
Seems to have been quite well received. I mean, Nathan the sommatician was here this year, and he even had to put down his knitting. He became that engrossed.
To take part.
So I'll take that as a big tick of it. It was successful, but certainly, I mean, that's the genuine feedback that I've had.
Yeah.
You came along as well.
I thoroughly enjoyed it as well.
It.
And the thing I like about this week is for myself, Nathan and you, people delivering things, we all get the chance, if we want, to dip into the other classes.
We do.
We just tag on to the end and participate and have fun, and it's so rare when you go anywhere and you're teaching that you get a chance to go to other classes.
Well, it's a different level for me as well, being the director of Perth Festival of Yarn, that when the festival's taking place and in the fringe events, I'm always on the go. So I don't really get the chance to speak to the tutors or speak to the attendees much, whereas at this retreat I definitely get the time to just sort of focus on individual people.
Yes.
And building relationships with them, and that means a lot to me. It's part of what makes this event really special.
It is good. And of course, having spoken to Stavros and company at reception, and having spoken to Nathan, and having permission from Janet, Beardychiel Rhodes Retreat 20 is at the planning stages already. So we're going to run again. But dish the dirt on Perth for this year, because tickets are on sale for everything now.
Tickets were launched 15 days ago. I'm trying to think. I'm thinking in Greek time, and I'm trying to think of UK time. And also, as you know, last year we welcomed people from 19 different countries to Perth Festival of Yarn. So tickets have been released. Due to popular demand, we were able to liaise with the venue that's hosting our Gin Flight Friday event, and they've kicked out a provisionally booked event so that we can have upstairs, because
So we have a much
sold
bigger
out.
venue.
We sold out that event within 25 hours, which is just phenomenal.
I forgot to order tickets before we left the UK. I'll need to do it when I get back.
Get on PayPal just here. Tickets are still available. I may be in Rhodes where my heart is happiest. Tickets are still available, guys, on the website. It's been great. When I get back to the UK, we're hitting that sort of 3 month mark before the festival takes place. So I am straight into organising working visas for Francoise, who's a Rowanette, and Steve, who's Mr. Hugs.
Of course, because one's coming all the way from Japan and one from Vancouver in Canada.
Yeah, so we're truly international now, which makes my heart very, very happy.
Now, this year's lineup of tutors is really diverse. It's there's something for absolutely everyone. So remind me, who's coming?
Who's coming? We have Andre de Castro coming from Porto in Portugal.
Right.
He's delivering 2 classes in lace knitting, and I've got to say his classes have been the ones that have just absolutely taken off.
Yeah.
All the tutors have sold a good number of classes, but everyone wants a piece of Andre by the looks of it.
That's a good sign.
So we have Andre, we have Francoise, who is French Maori. She's based in Osaka, and she's only ever taught in Osaka and Melbourne before.
So this is a first European outing for her?
First European, first sort of, I mean, she's not done America or Japan, America or Canada either, so it's bigger than that. It's
wonderful.
It's incredible. Feel really sort of privileged to have been able to secure Frenchie, as I call her. So she's doing 2 classes on Maori traditions through stranded colourwork and one of painting with yarn.
Which sounds wonderful.
We have, I'm trying to run through everybody in my head just now.
Mr. Hugs.
We have Mr. Hugs. So Mr. Hugs is the king of cables. He's flying in from Vancouver. He's just about to relaunch his knitting television show as well. It's taken sort of like a wee 5-year hiatus while he's gone and secured more funding. So that will be up and running before Perth. And he's doing a lot of filming at Perth as well, which is very, very exciting to have that.
Good.
He's doing an introduction to cables, and he's doing mastering cables. So he's covering all the bases, and his cables are exquisite.
I've seen some of his sweater
really,
work.
really exquisite.
Really
a lot
nice.
of gender neutral designs as well, which I absolutely adore. I mean, he kind of designs more for a masculine mind. He's a bit of a unicorn in our industry in that he's a straight male knitter. A bit like yourself, there's not many out there.
We are few and far between, but we are wonderful when you find us.
You do tend to find that male knitters and designers tend to design more for a feminine form as well, more often than not. So it's nice to see him coming out these, almost designing with men in mind, the masculine form in mind, but his designs turn out gender neutral.
They fit,
so that's really exciting to have that, because it kind of fits into the whole diversity thing that we need more representation of everything.
You've got a returner this year. Is Bev Dot back this year?
Bev Dot returns. She's doing Fair Island Steeking, which was really popular last year. So she's won the Jameson, I want to say it's Jameson Smith.
As opposed to Jameson's.
As opposed to Jameson's. Both absolutely brilliant, but I always get really confused regarding the proper Shetland wool producers. So she's won their
Design Award
with colour work, with the colour palette that they put together each year. She's won that two years in a row. So she's the designer behind the Uphelia sweater, which is
the one with the big Viking head on it. It's super.
Which we'll be featuring as part of our fashion show. So Saturday night we have a gala dinner and fashion show, which is generously sponsored by Dingwall this year. Tickets for that have been flying.
Yes.
Flying. There's really not that many left. So go buy. Pause what you're doing, go buy the tickets now and come back and watch the rest of this interview. So we've got Andre, we've got Bev, we've got Francoise, we've got Mr. Hugs. We have Lindsay Roberts coming and joining us for this year. So she's best known as the Border Tart, and she's the brains behind Bloom and Indigo. She's coming and hosting a slow stitching blues class. I think that's what we've called it, and it's all about the Japanese mending techniques of borrow, because visible mending is something that's on the increase. I think people are really becoming involved in slow fashion, and they want to know how better to look after their garments and to repair them and to get that extra bit of time out of these lovely crafted garments.
If you've put 50-60 hours into something, you want to be able to do that.
Absolutely, so that's very exciting. It's probably our only non-knitting class this year. We are really quite knitting centric this time round, although it generally evolves.
That's right.
You know, we do take in other disciplines, but the borrow was something that we wanted to include this year. We have Carrie Westerman returning.
Yes.
As well.
Second year for Carrie.
It is, but she's bringing a new class.
Oh, wow.
So brand new for 2019, we have Introduction to Estonian Lace.
That'll be fun.
I don't know if you've seen, well, I know that you've seen it, but hello, viewing audience. If you haven't gone and seen her wedding shawl that she designed for her wedding earlier this year, it's called Shawl for an Art Lover. absolutely stunning. There's a lot of features of Estonian lace are featured in that shawl.
And I know someone who's very maniacally knitting one at the moment.
I'm not doing mine in lace weight, so full transparency here. I'm doing mine in 4-ply, but using the same needle size because it is a Giganti-Mouse neck blanket, as our friends Marcus, who's Fiberpunk, and Kirsty of Grenade Creations would call it. It's sizable. It's a labour of love, but I'm absolutely adoring it here, and it's photographing really well, even if I do say so myself.
It is.
Against the sunlight.
It does sort of rather match the hair colour.
It does, just a touch. Yeah. So we have Carrie. Her other class is Faroese shawls, which she's done from time to time. So they've got a completely different charting system and unique shape.
Oh wow!
Which is really quite interesting to have her bring that to Perth too.
Wonderful.
Who else have we got? We've got more tutors than that.
I know there are more than that. There are 9, aren't there?
There's 8.
8.
There's 8.
I've lost count.
Who else do we have?
I can't remember.
Had I known that John was going to put me on the spot like this, I would have printed them out. Oh, Jeanette. So our keynote lecturer for this year is Jeanette Sloan.
Oh God Almighty, that's
I'm trying
terrible.
to remember the exact title of her.
Listen, if you're not sure, go to the Perth Festival of Yarn website. I'll make sure that the name is on the screen all the way through this interview so that you can go get all the information that you need if Eva has not managed to fill everybody in. Or fill in everyone that she needs.
Jeanette, her lecture is on BIPOC, which is Black Indigenous People of Colour, which we sometimes call BAME in the UK, so Black, Asian, minority ethnic, and the need for representation within the knitting community. So that is very topical within our community and industry at the moment, but it's something that Jeanette and I were working for prior to all this sort of becoming more focused. Yes, so we had that sort of signed off before January. I think my life's just been a whirlwind since January, to be honest. But Jeanette's also giving us a class while she's here. She's doing dive into dipped stitches.
Yes, it sounds fantastic.
It really does. You need to go and look at the photos on the website for that to kind of see a little bit more. I want to say I'm trying to visualise my battle board, because you know.
Yes, I know.
Top secret behind the scenes Perth Festival of Yarn HQ stuff here. I have what I call my battle board, which is a giant pin board that's just covered in post-it notes, and everything has to be sort of layered out as to who's happening where and what at what time. I feel I'm missing something. I feel I'm missing someone, but I honestly can't remember.
As I said, well, it's all going to be, the website's going to be on screen while we're blathering, so you can go and get it.
But apologies to any tutor that I may have just inadvertently missed out of my own
You see, if I'd got her at night after dinner and possibly 2 or 3 glasses of wine, she would have remembered everything.
Are you trying to say get a little bit vocal and a little bit chatty after?
We all do.
I think we do. I think filters come off a little bit, and yeah. But there's 8 tutors in all, which is an amazing, and we've got all the main disciplines covered.
Dates 8th and 9th September.
7th and 8th of September.
7th and 8th of September. At the Dewar Centre in Perth.
At the Dewar Centre in Perth. Some of the classes are in different locations and fringe events, so please do double check the website for those details. And of course, 80 vendors.
There.
You'll be there. 80 vendors in our Vendors Gallery Marketplace this year. We're welcoming Lady Di Yarns from Massachusetts, so that's our first ever US vendor.
Yes.
We have 7 EU vendors, so truly international in our marketplace as well.
Trelise is back.
She won the Spirit of the Festival Award last year, so she was always going to return.
Yes.
Caithness Croft,
my yarn. Beardychiel's there. My patterns and yarns will be available this year for the first time.
Very exciting.
But they've been previewed here at Perth, here in Rhodes. And I have to say, the retreat folk, I brought a little of everything with me, and I'm going back with an awful lot less than I came. People are really quite liking it.
They are. Going to interrupt you slightly. Julie Debrew, Julie Knits in Paris.
Oh,
she's the other one. She's the other tutor. Heaven forbid I would forget about her. So, so Julie Knits in Paris, Julie Debrew, joining us from Paris, strangely enough. She's delivering the My Dream Sweater and Brioche Can We Fix It? Yes We Can classes.
Yes, that's right. I remember looking at that one. So, all in all, Perth you can't miss it. It's going to be absolutely fantastic this year.
It is the hottest yarn party ticket this autumn.
It has to be.
It really is.
And it's my big blowout for the end of the year. And then after that, my come down from Perth is I've been lucky enough to secure accommodation in Shetland for Shetland Wool Week.
It's going to be epic. I believe that the programme just went live yesterday.
I haven't looked yet.
For everybody who has sort of done their sort of pre-sign-ups, I'm not quite sure how they work their infrastructure, but it went online or it was being emailed out yesterday. All of it.
So I'll have a look at that when I get home and hope for the best. So I'm going to have a fun week there. And we go home on Monday. We've got a couple of days left.
We do. The weekend's ours.
Yes.
The weekend is ours. It's warming up, so I'm hoping for another swim in the sea.
Yeah, so there'll be Eva, myself, my better half Janet, and another returner, Karen Jappy, who's not a knitter, who just decided last year she fancied coming with us from Thurso. And she and her other half, Edwin, have come again this year. And they're having a wonderful time sitting in the sun and wandering around and walking. They don't knit, they don't care, they just think it's fun to come and join us.
Well, it's a beautiful place, and the hospitality is second to none. The Salis family really just do welcome you with open arms.
They do.
Here.
They do. Oh, and I wasn't planning to do much teaching this year, and I've ended up teaching an extra Tunisian crochet class, an introduction to double knitting, and an introduction to two-colour brioche.
And that's just for Mama.
And that's just for Mama Thashtalis. Sambika decided she wants to learn all of these, and last night I had to write longhand in minute detail everything you need to do to set up to knit two-colour brioche successfully. And that's being translated from English to Greek today, and hopefully she'll get it Monday or Tuesday when the translator comes back from a wedding. Listen, we're off. See you later. Bye. Hi folks, I'm back again, but this time I have with me Linda Helpwood. Highland.
Hello.
Linda is one of the people who decided she would come back to Beardychiel Rhodes Retreat for a second time. How's your week been?
Amazing.
What made you decide to come back?
It was amazing last year. It really is that simple.
That's good.
Yeah.
So this week you've had, how many classes did you decide to have in the end?
2, and it was seminar.
Oh, right, 2 classes in Eva's seminar. And were all of them what you expected?
Pretty much, yeah. And they were really good.
Well, that's good to hear.
Yeah.
We both did the Knit Nerdism class with Nathan, which I thought was absolutely wonderful. I mean, I've been knitting for 48 years and he still made me think, oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And he has had just such a wonderful way of describing things.
Yeah.
And perfect actor, so physical.
Yeah.
I mean, a massive piece of physical theatre.
Yes. Oh, that was amazing.
That was good fun.
Yeah.
We're back at the Rhodian Sun again. For you, what makes the Rhodian Sun so good?
Almost everything. I'm gonna sound like a commercial for it, but it's perfect because both Johan and I are vegetarians and we have had 0 problems with that. It's perfect. So good food. The family is lovely. Every other guest is also lovely.
Yeah,
so nice
it's
people.
funny.
Yeah.
Everyone who comes here seems to be so laid back and so chilled out. It is good. And of course, all the people who have been on the retreat, smaller numbers than last year, but still really nice people, really good fun. You chose to have a couple of rest days when we went exploring the island this year.
Yeah.
What did you get up to?
Not much. Yesterday we just sat in the sun and in the shadow and knitted and talked and had a really relaxing day.
Now the knitting was exciting yesterday, wasn't it?
Yes, Johan started knitting.
So last year he came just as a partner, and we got him to knit 3-4 stitches.
Yeah.
And as he sits across there today, he has this much of a sock.
Yes, I'm very proud.
I'm very proud. I think he's absolutely wonderful for not only trying it, but for being a left-handed knitter, working left-handed, and working from right needle to left instead of left to right. It's super, absolutely super. And his choice of yarn is really soft, really nice. As he said, house socks.
Yeah, exactly.
They're going to be fun. So yeah, we have a new knitter. We've had fun. You go home today.
Yes. That's not fun.
That's not fun.
No.
Now, something that's different. Last year we had a chat and we did it exactly like this. Next question for you. Let's go for the international audience. Give your answer in Swedish.
Oh.
And let's do something for the Swedish knitters who are out there.
All right.
Okay.
Yes.
Just
sure.
different. It'll be fun.
Absolutely.
So, if I asked you, let's see, how about describing two things that are really positive about the classes, and anything, if you can find anything that could be better.
Okej. Klasserna är genomtänkta. Både Nathans och Johns är otroligt... Man märker att de är vana att undervisa. Det är grundligt, det är inspirerande, jätteroligt. Det känns som om det är en vän och man har väldigt roligt ihop, vilket man lär ju känna varandra, så det är ju väldigt såklart, men även i större grupper att man är ett gäng kompisar som tycker det är väldigt roligt och lär sig otroligt mycket nytt. Så det är fantastiskt, rekommenderas.
Even I understood the last sentence. Linda, thank you for coming back a second year. You're an absolute angel to work with. But I'm going to see you soon because you'll be in Perth.
Yes, I will.
And it's going to be absolutely exciting and wonderful again.
Yes.
Are you going to manage to persuade him to come with you?
I don't know why, but
He's not festival friendly yet.
no, and he's not that interested in Scotland.
I know he said that,
Yes,
but that's
and I
fine.
don't understand it because I love Scotland.
It's probably too close to home.
Yeah, I guess so.
He did say that he likes the heat.
Yeah, he does.
Have a very safe trip home.
Yes, thank
And I'll
you.
see you soon. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am back at the end of the Beardychiel Rhodes Retreat, and it's, what time is it? About 7 o'clock?
About that, yes.
7 o'clock on Saturday night. Linda Helgren and Johan have gone off back to Sweden, and the next folk to leave are Sarah, Donald, and your two bouncing and absolutely hilarious children.
Yes, I know, we're heading off later tonight. So sad to leave.
Have you had a good week?
But yes, it's been fantastic. Has been wonderful.
Now, this is your first visit with us. You're the first person who's brought the entire family,
I know.
and that was a bit adventurous and a bit intrepid. Has it worked out well for the kids as well as for you?
Definitely, yes. The children have had a ball here this week.
Well, that's
They've had a
good.
fantastic time.
Did they manage to get everything they wanted to eat?
Yes,
Oh, that's good.
yes. And we have a fussy eater.
Oh, right.
And yes.
Well, that's a novelty with kids.
Yeah. There, yep. He was accommodated for.
Wonderful.
And yes.
Oh, that's good. So, obvious questions. The classes you took this week, how did they go for you?
They were great. So we had sock-metition.
Knit
It was
nerdism.
wonderful,
We all
yes.
qualify as nerds, that's for sure.
Yes, that was a great class, and that was the first class I took in the week. And it actually worked out really well that was the first class that I took, because in the nerdism, it meant that I actually was thinking about what I was doing, which worked well for the next classes when we were learning, thinking about different techniques of planning a sock and that kind of thing of, what is it I'm actually doing? To, thinking about planning for patterns and things.
Yeah, because you did both in Nathan's and you were at Eva Seminar.
Yes.
Now, taking our fibre businesses, our yarn businesses to the next level. How did you get on there? I thoroughly enjoyed myself.
It was really interesting because certainly that's an area I don't think enough about at the moment.
I don't think any of us do.
Yeah, so it was really interesting, and obviously Eva does a wonderful job, so it was great to get some of her wisdom and knowledge and have her actually there. So no, it was really good, and it's certainly I've got some things to take away.
Oh, wonderful.
For me to ponder about.
Well, that's useful.
Yeah.
So you've had 2 days exploring, one in Lindos and one in Rhodes, so first time on the island. How did you get on with those two? Lindos, the hill almost killed me.
Well, yes, it was a steep hill, but not too steep. So that was fine, and it was a really good day there. First time, as you said, first time on the island, and Lindos was the first village that we visited, and it was beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
It's really picturesque.
Really, really picturesque. And we had a great day, and the children had a great day as well, because there was a tourism side. It was a wee bit touristy. So they had the shops to look at. Again, food, there was lots of places to eat out, and there's just so much to see as well.
There is a lot.
In the age, just because, Rhodes is so old. It's just so much to see.
Now, that was quite good fun. And we passed you a couple of times and you were always busy in Lindos.
Yeah.
Was it too long a day? Was it just about the right length of time, did you think?
I think it was the right length of time. It didn't feel too long.
I mean, it works out you have about 5 hours free time to explore.
Yes.
Which I thought seemed reasonable. Well, that's good. And then yesterday, Rhodes, Old Town and New Town. Did you get as far as the New Town?
No, because there's just, again, so much to see that, we only really ventured into the Old Town and went to the couple of places that we wanted to really see.
Right.
But don't put me on the spot and ask me what they are, because I'll say the wrong names.
Well, the Archaeological Museum.
Yes. And then
the
King's...
The Master's Keep.
That's it.
Yes.
I think
the old Templar, the Templar castle at the top of the hill.
So we visited there, and then we had to just do the souvenir shopping.
As you do.
And then we ran out of time.
Yeah.
And so, we need to go back to Rhodes because we hardly saw any
of that's Rhodes. A great excuse to come back. We didn't get to do enough shopping.
So we didn't venture to the new town at all.
Oh dear.
We have to.
Well, that's a good sign. Back. I'm delighted to hear that.
Yes.
Now, you've been our new set of bodies in the unusual place that is the Rhodian Sun. It's fairly unique as hotels go. It has its quirks, it has its positives, it has its negatives, it has its hot water sometimes and not at other times.
Well, we've had hot water pretty much all the time.
Well, so have we. You just have to let it run for a while until it comes through. But some people never figure that out and get impatient. How has that bit been? I mean, what do you think of this place?
We love the hotel. Absolutely adore the hotel. We arrived on Saturday, so I think it was the Sunday was the day where it wasn't quite so nice weather. It was a little bit clouded over,
and we had some rain on Sunday as well.
Yes, and no thunderstorms. I wanted thunderstorms.
That's a shame.
I know, but the family that run the hotel, they were fantastic, particularly with my wee girl. Brought out toys to entertain her. They were willing to just go the extra mile to put on entertainment for the kids, but it was like, it's not needed. They're having fun. So welcoming. And in terms of the quirks, it's just part of the character of the place.
It is, isn't it?
Really, really, really absolutely adore this hotel.
Now,
sorry.
I was going to say, for you and Donald, how have the meals worked out? Have you had a reasonable range of dietary exercise?
Yeah, pretty much every night we've taken the specials. Again, don't put me on the spot and ask me what they are because I couldn't tell.
No,
I couldn't
I mean
remember
there's
them.
such a range.
But yes, there's been something different every night, and we don't have any specific dietary requirements or dietary needs. But I know that certainly other guests within the hotel do, and they've been able to cater for that as well. So
yeah, no, they're always really good at that,
Yeah.
and I have to say our resident cook Sula, who's in there, is quite a character in her own right. She told me today that from now on I'm only allowed to speak in Greek and she will only speak in English. I don't think I'll manage that.
You might do better than me though. So.
Now, I'm going to put you in the spot because you're a podcaster. And if I remember rightly, you've got, 13 episodes up at the moment?
Something like that, yes.
So, advert time. Tell them the name of the podcast. Tell them where to find it.
Yes, so I am The Lass Who Knits on YouTube. That's the name of my podcast. And yes, it's a fairly new podcast. I think I'm on episode 13.
I think. Well,
Almost
14 after this when you get home maybe.
Absolutely, yes. Episode 14 soon. And I plan on keeping those podcasts going and uploading regularly.
That'd be absolutely wonderful. This will be the first one I've done for ages because I've been a lazy beggar and playing the part of the hard-suffering granddad. And I can't help it. I love that bit. Listen, thank you for coming and joining us. It's been a wonderful week. It's been absolutely brilliant fun meeting Hannah and Joshua and Donald as well. Have a safe journey home. And we will see you soon. Oh, hello, Stavros! Excuse me while I pick this camera up. Look, it's Stavros! Hola, camera! And with that, cheery bye.
Yes, bye-bye.
3, 2, 1. Hello, everyone. Well, we're at the end of Beardychiel Rhodes Retreat 19, and it's Sunday. Almost everyone left yesterday, and there are 5 of us still here. Myself, Janet's friend Karen, her partner Edwin, and Eva Christie, Director of Perth Festival of Yarn. And the sun is absolutely glorious. As we would say in Glasgow, it's taps off weather, and my tap is definitely off. I'm sitting by the pool. It's absolutely scorching. It's about 12:30 in the afternoon. I've got heavy or high factor sunscreen on, and I'm absolutely happy. I've had a wonderful week. The folk in the retreat have been fun. The folk in the hotel, as always, pardon me, have been wonderful. My 2 tutors this year, Nathan Taylor and Eva Christie, surpassed themselves in delivery of their courses. I've ended up teaching 3 classes. One was Tunisian crochet, lace and entrelac, which went really well, and I thoroughly enjoyed that. And my dear friend Sambika Fastalis, mama of the family who own this particular hotel, asked if I would help her learn some knitting, and I said of course I would. So first of all, she came and she wanted to learn Tunisian crochet, and specifically entrelac, because Janet was working on a Tunisian entrelac blanket and she thought it would be wonderful because she's going to be a grandmother in October, so she's wanting to get into production, which is absolutely super. So we spent an afternoon on entrelac, and she, being an experienced crocheter, she just whizzed through that with no problem whatsoever. Then she came back and said, I want to knit this, and she showed me what she wanted to knit. And of course she had been watching Nathan, and Nathan was working on single pass 2-colour double knitting brioche on a hat that he was designing, and she thought it looked absolutely wonderful. And I thought, oh dear Lord, how do we do this? So I got my knitting out, couple of balls of yarn, she got knitting it, a couple of balls of yarn, a couple of circular needles, and we started with a simple cast on. We did a foundation row of, forgive me for a second folks, I do have sunglasses sitting here somewhere and the sun is literally blinding at the moment, so I'm just going to hide from you. Yay! Oh, that's better. So we got 4 passes, 2 on each side, single strand at a time, and we've got a foundation of double knitting put in as a setup for the 2-colour brioche. She started the 2-colour brioche and she nailed it on the first attempt. For me, I picked up some new Greek because I was describing what she needed to do. Slip one, yarn round, work 2 together, knit 2 together. So, Exi, slip one, I've forgotten what a round was, and then Diomizzi, 2 together. I'll need to go back and look at this little set of notes I took for myself. Anyway, she did really, really well, and later today I think we're having another session on the brioche to try and get her a little further on. I then spent half an hour that night writing out longhand every single instruction for the cast on, the setup and the beginning of the brioche, as if it was for someone who knew nothing about knitting, which, having done Nathan's Knit Nerdism class, was really, really, really good. It made me analyse what I do without thinking about it and find a way of recording it that was easy to understand. All I've got to do now is head back to the UK, and as promised, I'm going to record me doing all the things that I've written for her. Luckily, I've written them in longhand in English, and Stavros's partner here, Eva, not our Eva, another Eva, is an absolutely stunning linguist with multiple languages at her fingertips, and she translates and she teaches English, and she said, I'll go through it with you, yes I understand all of it, I will translate it into Greek for her, so that should be fine. And that has been a really exciting week for me. It was really sad last night to see the last of the retreat folk go off home. I'm told that on the way home some of them were fine. One set, Sarah and her family, who you'll have seen Sarah earlier chatting away to me, had thought they'd left plenty of time for getting to the airport. The locals thought there was plenty of time, but there were 5 planes departing at the one time and only 2 people in passport control, so they really had to rush, skip queues and do all sorts to make sure that they boarded on time. So that's a warning for Janet and the rest of us for tomorrow night, to make sure that we get there at a reasonable time. We're going to try and be at the airport for just after 8 and our flight's just after 11, which should leave us plenty of time. Doesn't matter if we're there a little early, we can simply get through check-in, get through passport control, through security and up into the departure lounge, and there's plenty to shop, do, sit, nibble, sit up there while we're waiting for the plane, and that'll get us back into the UK about 1 AM on Tuesday morning. Then a quick overnight stay at a hotel, and then we're going to drop Eva Christie off in Perth and then make our way back to Caithness. So I'm hoping to be back in Caithness by tea time on Tuesday, which will be absolutely wonderful. Then I'll get editing, get this lot put together, and hopefully at some time on Wednesday night, Beardychiel Rhodes Retreat video vlog or podcast, however you want to term it, I don't mind, will be up. But what have I been working on while I've been here? Well, There are some stash acquisitions, and I'll record something for those when I get back to the UK, but I have been knitting these little white lacy shrugs because I need 5 of them ready for flower girls for my niece's wedding in June, and the smallest of them is finished, and I have to say that the young lady wearing this is only a year old. So the tiniest one, excuse me while I just straighten it out, these are just off the needles, not blocked or anything. So look, here's the tiniest one. Strange to believe, but that's a 20-inch chest, so that should fit her quite nicely as a little shrug. This one is a 26, and I think I've got a 30 to make as well. I've got 5 in total. I think I've got 2 this size and 2 of the bigger size, and it's going to be absolutely fun to put those together. They don't take long. The pattern's nice and straightforward, and it's all garter stitch lace, so you've got minimum thinking. So fingers crossed that the bride likes them, because she won't have seen them until I get home. I'm also working on a hat, which is still in the bag here, if I can rescue it. Ta-da! Because of the work with Sambika, I had some white, and I had this wonderful multicoloured ball of something special, which he reaches into the bag to lift. Here it is. Trailies, do you recognise it? It's one of yours. Yeah, I'm sure you do recognise it. I think it's mandala, and it's absolutely wonderful. It's squidgy, it's lovely. There's 100 grams of it there. I don't think I'll need all of that for the hat, but we'll wait and see. And yeah, because I was working 2-colour brioche, I thought simple 2-colour brioche hat will be fine. So there it is on one side, and flip it over. There it is on the other. Now there's no patterning in plan for this one, it's just a straight run at a hat, so I'm hoping it worked out alright. I hope that stayed in focus. I had it awfully near the camera. We'll wait and see. So I've got those on the go. There's a green and yellow version of the finished lightning shawl, which is zigzag 2-colour brioche lace, the prototype for which some of you saw on Instagram in grey and blue. Now that I've decided how wide the actual stripes and the zigzag are definitely going to be, I tested some that were 4 stitch pairs wide, some 5 stitch pairs wide, some 6 and some 7, just to find out what gave me the best look. I've now decided which one it is, and I had 2 balls of blacker yarn samite sitting, which I'd started to use a couple of years ago, made a massive mistake in the brioche and ripped it out, and it was sitting needing to be used, so I've started with that, and I know that the way I've designed the shawl, it uses near as damn it the 200 grams. There's a tiny bit left at the end, so that should be fine. And I've got a pair of socks on the go, and I don't have those down at the pool with me today, but I will show you those elsewhere in the podcast, and you can let me know what you think. So from Beardychiel at the pool, for the time being, I think I'm going to go and refill my glass of water, which I have managed to order in Greek quite successfully. In fact, I got a lovely smile from Sambika, who was behind the bar when I asked for my drink entirely in Greek. It's funny after a few years how you start to pick up little bits and pieces, and that just sticks in the brain, and when it comes out, it's fun. I enjoy trying to learn other languages, and for the local people here, when you make that effort, it shows a mark of respect for them and their language and their country. So everything seems to go really, really well. Well, I think I'll quit there. That's about 12 and a half minutes worth. and I will see you back in Blighty. Cheerio, bye.
Hi folks, just a tiny bit of Sambika and I working on the brioche.
Now here, έξω το yellow.
This way. Ναι.
This is probably 3 or 4 hours work by a really determined student who has worked her way through a simple cast on and some double knitting to create 2 setup rows and then into single pass 2 colour brioche, and she's doing brilliantly. It was a pleasure working with her, I have to say. I thoroughly enjoyed it. So well done, Sambika. See you soon.
Hi guys, Beardychiel, sitting on Beardychiel Rhodes Retreat, and I am working away on wedding shrug number 3, and it's the last day of the retreat. We've got about 3-4 hours before Janet and I and the last couple of bodies fly home, and I just thought I'd do a last check-in while I'm sitting in the shade, letting my knees chill and cool. I've spent part of today doing another 2 colour brioche knitting lesson with my friend Sambika, and now she has gone off to do some work, and I thought I'll just do a little bit of knitting and say it's been a wonderful time. I've said that every time I've been on camera. Thoroughly enjoyed it. And now I've got 2 of these shrugs done. Photographs have been on Instagram, you've probably seen them, and I dare say you'll see them all when I film a bit at home. And it has been good fun. I've really enjoyed myself, and I am going to miss being in the Rhodian sun. I'm going to miss the pool, I'm going to miss the people. But there's always the opportunity to come back next year for Rhodes Retreat 2020, and maybe even if Janet has enough holidays left to arrange to come back in the autumn. Would be good. Come back when it's quiet in October. Spend more time talking, working on my learning of Greek. I've been working away on it this week. Several new phrases added to my mental phrase book. A pile of knitting terminology that I never thought I would have learned. So I'm going to have to go and look most of it up though to make sure I understand exactly what it means. But that'll be fun. So from me, until I get back to Glasgow, Beardychiel signing off, saying see you soon. Cheery bye.
Hello again. Well, Highland Sheep and Textiles, organised by Jenny Brogden, was absolutely super fun. I had a wonderful day out with Janet. We met some absolutely lovely people. We spoke to some absolutely lovely customers. We sold some yarn. We sold some Beardychiel merchandise. Sold some patterns and chatted away to folk. It wasn't a wild financial success. It wasn't a failure either. The day was fun. What I would say is that place provides a mighty fine cup of coffee. And a superb canteen, so that's one purely on food and drink grounds that I would say I would go back and do again. The pens, allowing for what we paid for them, were a super size. They were about twice the size of the average stall anywhere else, and at a very reasonable price. Apparently they have another event in November, so I'm going to have to keep my eye open for that, and it might be something I'd be tempted to go back down to, because it is only an hour's drive, an hour and a bit's drive from here. Hello everyone, I'm sitting here in front of my computer editing the Rhodes and Dingwall footage, and realised that in total there's about 2 hours worth of footage. So I'm going to split it here just to make the upload slightly easier. You've seen all of Rhodes, Dingwall, the W.I.P.s, and the works in Dingwall, the works in progress, and any finished objects. Stash acquisition are all in the next section, so pop along and keep an eye on that. And thanks very much for being so patient. See you all soon. Bye!